A house divided against itself cannot stand. Between April of 1861 and May of 1865, the U.S. was involved in the largest conflict of its history, resulting in the deaths of between 600,000 and 800,000 individuals. By the summer of 1863, both sides were hopelessly deadlocked, with the war in the Eastern Theater breaking down into a stalemate. Lincoln was hoping for a major victory to shore up Union morale. That victory would eventually come on July 3, 1863, at the Battle of Gettysburg. Lincoln had a major problem going into 1864. He had recently fired George McClellan, former commander of the Army of the Potomac, and was looking for a competent general who would be his equivalent of Robert E. Lee. The general Lincoln was looking for would eventually arrive after the Battle of Vicksburg. General Ulysses S. Grant finally achieved victory, cutting off the South with his control over the Mississippi in late 1864. Grant would eventually follow a policy of total warfare, completely annihilating Lee's forces at the battles of Cold Harbor, Wilderness, and finally Appomattox Courthouse. He finally brought the war to an end after 4 long years. Due to his popularity and his fame, Grant ran for president in 1868, in the height of Reconstruction, allowing this general to transform his life as a civilian leader. Unfortunately for Grant, his presidency was plagued by scandals and corruption, including the Whiskey Ring in 1875, pictured here. Grant's presidency was not all negative, however. He did successfully put down the KKK in the early 1870s and helped to establish Reconstruction policies for the newly freed slaves in the United States. Grant would unfortunately die of throat cancer on July 23, 1885, his only request to be buried with his wife, Julia. What this meant in practice was that Grant could not be buried at Arlington or in West Point, since they did not allow the burial of women on their grounds. Mayor William Grace of New York City offered Julia Grant the opportunity to have her husband buried in New York City. The public-funded project had an initial goal of $1 million. Unfortunately, only $600,000 were ever raised, still making it the largest public-funded project in world history up until that point. The design for the tomb was eventually handed over to John Duncan, a proven architect with several other monuments under his belt. Interestingly enough, John Duncan had also created the Grand Army Plaza in Brooklyn. Grant was interred at Grant's tomb on April 27, 1897. That would have been his 75th birthday. The sarcophagi were made out of red granite, each of which weighed over 8.5 tons. Here we see a bust of William Tecumseh Sherman, one of Ulysses S. Grant's most trusted friends and allies. Here, his bust stands as the eternal guard for his commanding officer. Above the sarcophagus, one can see the decorative ceiling, which overlooks the tomb site. Alongside, we can see murals as well as pendatives, each representing life and death. The murals were painted by Alan Cox in 1966. This is a depiction of Grant at Vicksburg, commanding his troops. Here is a mural of Grant's most iconic moment, where Lee surrendered to him at Appomattox Courthouse. Behind them are Confederate and Union soldiers, as well as the American Eagle, holding America's motto. Here is the viewing area of Grant's tomb. As you can see, it is circular, allowing the viewer to walk around and view Grant's life through the murals and the artwork, as well as the flags and numerous other memorabilia scattered around the site. Overall, Grant's tomb does a successful job of blending visual and form to form a cohesive narrative about Ulysses S. Grant. He was both a president and a general, but above all, he was a symbol of unity, peace, and victory during one of America's toughest times. Unlike many monuments here and abroad, Grant's tomb uses both symbolism and actual historical events from someone's life to draw a picture for us. This truly does make Grant's tomb unique amongst other monuments located in New York City.